All right, it is 2 o'clock. Thank you, everybody, for joining us here on a beautiful Friday. Thank you for, I know there's a lot of things to do here in Miami, and we really appreciate you guys taking time out to be with us on this webinar. We're going to make it worth your while. We have a lot of new graphics that we loaded onto. The team did a great job in putting some new graphics together. And so what this is, if it's your first time joining us, this is Leveraging Market Stats to Boost Your Business series. We do this every single month. Actually, it was an idea from our chairman of the board, past chairman, Fernando. And we've been doing this every single month for 5 years. We haven't missed a month. And so what it is, essentially, we look at the state of the market, but most importantly, where is it going? We go through all the different metrics and essentially how you could use the stats to become a better realtor and serve your clients better. And the main reason why this program has been so successful is the different Miami leaders that have come on each month, getting their perspectives. And we are very fortunate. We have one of our best leaders. He is the next chairman of the board of the Miami Association of Realtors. Eddie, thank you so much for being here. How are you doing today, Eddie?
Good to be here. And I've been on other calls where you say that they're the best leaders. So I don't know, man. I'm just it's great to be on. Thank you for having us. This is awesome.
I appreciate it.
That's one thing I have to say about the Miami professionals. When one of the leaders comes up or with an idea, the Miami professionals are all over it. And sometimes ideas get out in production before the end of a board meeting. And you guys really know how to rock and roll. So I appreciate you.
Yeah, we appreciate you as well. All right, Eddie. So the first one right off the top, we are live on social media, LinkedIn, Facebook, most of them. Can you talk about, if for instance, if they're a new realtor, why are stats so important? Why is it so important to tell Miami's story?
It's important because the purchase of the process of buying and selling real estate can be emotional and subjective. And so everybody has their ear, especially first-time home buyers. And if you're not able to speak in terms of statistics and data and information that's relevant and accurate, then you're going to lose opportunities. If you can speak well about what statistics are in place and why they matter, you're able to persuade people easier because you have the right information. You are the market expert, and it helps make more sales and be more effective. So
that's excellent. Definitely. All right, so let's get moving here. We're going to be with you for the next hour. I see it's already some questions in the chat. Thank you, everybody, especially on a Friday, to being here with us. Let's take a look at our agenda, where we're going to go over. Obviously, most important is the May stats, but also we hear Eddie's perspectives. Got some tools and resources. Hey, we already got lined up leveraging stats webinars. Take a look at the next two leaders. Two of our best, Eddie.
Oh yeah, two of the best. I have to agree. They're pretty awesome.
Catherine and Anna will be on. You guys can register right now on the website. And so some of the main questions that we hear every time is, can I get this PowerPoint? And the answer is yes. If you could go ahead and type your email in the chat, whether you're on the Zoom or you're on LinkedIn, you're on Facebook, put your email in the chat. I'll go back. I'll tabulate all those, and I will email that to you later this afternoon, actually. And it is being recorded also, MiamiRealtorsLive.com. And if there's one website that you could write down, one thing to remember, it's this one, right? sfmarketintel.com, because that's where we put all of our market stats, our market graphics, our market videos. sfmarketintel.com. We try to make it simple. That's an easy website for you guys to remember. And actually, the new Miami 2024 stats, which are being released today to the media, should be up there now or in the next hour. So you could go ahead and take a look at the new graphics that we're posting there. Eddie, so let me go through these new quick hitting graphics, top indicators for the different markets. Then I'll have a question for you. So just real briefly, taking a look at the new stats that are being released. Again, these are official stats from the SEF MLS. Miami-Dade single-family home sales are up. 400, 600 condo sales are up, and that's in Miami-Dade County. Let's take a look at Broward. 1 million and up sales. Double digits are up. Total dollar volume up as well in Broward. Let's swing over to Palm Beach County, 1 million in up sales. We see similar trend lines there. In Martin County, total home sales are up and condo sales surged here in Martin County. All right, Eddie, so let me go back to Miami-Dade. Single family home sales are up 6%. Not a surprise there, but what is your take right now as we said, you know, we're in June here. What is your take on the state of the market right now and where it could be going?
You know, we've had consecutive growth on median home sale price for over 12 years, right? And so the best determinant of what the future is our past. And so we can't speculate into what's going to happen, but I can tell you that when you see these numbers, this is the kind of information that we need to have right off the top of our heads when the clients say, hey, how's the market? This is the type of stuff that you need to be able to spit out of your mouth real quick, and it makes you look up really strong. It's not just saying, oh yeah, the market's good. Well, you know, single family home sales are up 6%. You know, when you have that information in your head, that data points is very important. So, you know, this is consistent with what I'm seeing in my practice as a practitioner. We're getting still multiple offers on properties that are priced well, and it's still very competitive as inventory remains relatively low.
Yeah, no, great points. Yeah, high demand, low supply still here in South Florida. So let's move on. Let's get back to. All right, here's another top talking point, right? This is big with buyers, with sellers, with real estate professionals, mortgage rates. And Eddie, our incredible chief economist, Gay Crorotone, she actually today she sent a new report that's on our website. And in the report, she says she forecasts rates to be at 6.6% by the end of 2024. And look at this, down to 5.7 by the end of 2025. That's great news, Eddie, for us that we have so much demand, right?
Yeah. You know, it is good news. If interest rates went down, that'd be nice. But the reality of the market, the reality is whether or not interest rates go down, they are still historically down. Now, I know if you got in the business, you know, 24 years ago in 2020, you know, you would know that the rates were higher then. But really, if you got in the business, you know, since 2010, we've had, you know, below 5% interest rates for a very long time. So it's all there in the graph. And, you know, what we have to learn to communicate to consumers is that rates as they are today are lower than they have been average wise over the 30 years. So, you know, we've got a little spoiled with those low interest rates, but you have to have that conversation with the buyers and let them understand that this is more likely the new normal for quite some time. And it still makes, as long as the affordability factor is there, they should be buying and not waiting for rates to go down.
Yeah, no, great points there. The new normal, take a look at the 1980s is 12.7%, just to put a perspective there.
Yeah.
All right, so now with rates, as you said, in the new normal, is it time to get more for realtors to get more creative, right? Are these some of these programs? I know they used to be popular in the past, but are you seeing these more and more now?
Yeah, I mean, with the buying down of rates is a smart move. You know, with a $10,000 credit adjustment, you can get more cost savings for the buyer on a monthly basis than you could by adjusting the purchase price down $10,000. So if you're going to be in a price negotiation with a buyer, with a seller, you really have to have that conversation with the buyer, understand the difference of let me adjust the price down 10,000 versus let me get that $10,000 as a credit that the buyer can then use to buy down their rate, which over the term of the 30 years will save them way more than $10,000. So have that discussion with your loan officer, understand what those variables are, have the conversation with your buyer, and then use that in your negotiation. And I think that's going to help you set yourself apart from others in the industry.
That's excellent. Love it. All right. Okay, so let's take a look at what makes the Miami market different from a New York, from an LA, from a Chicago. These are the talking points. Right? Let's go through the population, our international migration. A lot of times Miami is the exception to the rule, as you will see in our stats when we get later.
Oh, wait, hold on. Go back a second, Chris. I didn't see.
Yeah.
Where's coffee? Where's Cuban coffee on there? Where's the cafecito?
I gotta add it, that's
Well, that's
true.
a fundamental market difference.
At least put a little picture, right?
You got to. Yeah.
Yes. But hey, let's take a look at our population. This was a graphic that's actually from the state of Florida, and you can see the projected rise in population. So, Eddie, these right here are future home buyers, right? South Florida.
That's it. Right. Their future and current, obviously with the projections that those are projections, of course, right. So those are, yeah, that is what's coming to the market. And I'm sure you're probably get into it later in another slide, but it's not just that our population is growing, but the income and the wealth that is coming is different than it has been in the history of South Florida. So we're getting a younger demographic. And when they're younger, they're coming here to work, not coming here to retire. They're coming here to establish businesses. They're coming to get higher wages and to save on their income tax. And what they're doing with that money is reinvesting it in businesses that are opening. And then that's an economic, machine that is South Florida. And I am bullish about the future of Miami because of the not just the growth, but the type of growth that we're having, which is exciting.
Right, the millennials that are coming, definitely.
Yep.
And here's another point that makes Miami different, an outlier. Our international migration, nobody has these numbers, nobody. And you can see how much has increased here. Eddie, take a look at here where Miami ranks #1 in the US in international migration. What's interesting here, Eddie, is you combine Miami-Dade and Broward. That is an incredible number. Nobody has those numbers. And this is what separates our market from other markets, right, Eddie?
It is, and again, there's been a shift in who are these international buyers. We went to in the last 2 years, I've been to two different trade missions that Miami Realtors done in international markets. One was in Dubai, and the other one was in France, just most recently. And in both of those conferences, when I met with people, a lot of people from Europe and Asia are interested in investing in. I met so many people that said, "Oh yeah, we have a branch office there. We're expanding into Miami. Yes, we're building XYZ, or we're the designers for XYZ building." It was really impressive to see because historically, at least for me when I was growing up in Miami, it was mostly Latin American countries, which still is the predominance, but the amount of European and Asian countries interested in and investing in South Florida has definitely changed, and that's an exciting growth potential that I see.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. Yeah, it's almost like every country, we have to have a headquarters in Miami. It's a must. Eddie, this was I believe you talked about this, the different companies that are moving here. And these are high-paying jobs. You're talking about over 100,000. But some of these companies, Goldman Sachs, Blackstone, these are the cream of the top, right? And this is going to play a factor in who's purchasing real estate here now and into the future.
That's right. That's right. And it's top executives. I mean, the owner of Citadel moved down to South Florida, and Citadel's whole headquarters moved from Chicago down here. So we're going to see, it's not just a little satellite. I mean, we're talking about big multi-year, multi-thousands of square feet leases that these companies are signing on here. They see the Miami as a growing tech and financial services market. They see our city as a bridge to the Latin American and other world markets. So that's what makes me excited about Miami for sure.
Excellent. All right. Okay, so where in the US are the buyers, the out-of-state buyers coming from? And this is research again from our chief economist. She looked at driver's license exchanges because when you move to a new state, you have X amount of time to change your driver's license. So it's a great source to get data there. And Eddie, whenever we look at migration, it always seems to be the same top three states, New York, California, and New Jersey. But there's so many ways realtors could use this information, right, to boost their business.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, one way is to use Intramatrix, see where Intramatrix is connected. Like we have Intramatrix, where you have access to through Matrix, have access to the realtors in some of these markets, and you can reach out to them and find out who you can do MLS searches, just like you can here in Miami. You can do it in some of these markets. Go to Intramatrix, check it out, and then make connections with those real estate agents that are in those markets that you can tell have production based on your MLS searches, and have conversations with them about, hey, are you working with sellers that are looking to relocate to my Florida? And let's talk about how we can collaborate and work together. Maybe bring them onto one of your YouTube shows, or I don't know. There's lots of different ways to collaborate and create opportunity. Maybe become social media friends with them and stay in touch with them and build relationships so that the next opportunity that they have a relocation, they can get a referral fee and you can have a new buyer or seller. So good
Yeah,
way
no,
to grow
great
your
point
business.
on Intramatrix. That's a Miami member benefit where you could look at different MLSs. We have deals with Michigan, California, Colorado, even Mexico. So
Yep. Georgia and California are on there too.
yes. All right, so let's take a look at luxury. We used to call luxury 1 million and up, but no way, that's no longer the case. When you look at research here in terms of top 5% of the Miami-Dade market, luxury in 2023 is 2 million and up for condos and 2.7 million and up for single family. Eddie, let me show you ultra luxury. So this is median sale prices in the top 1%. To be ultra luxury, it has to be a $6 million condo deal and a $7.3 million single family deal, which having significantly increased in the last years, but really amazing how the luxury and the ultra luxury has really taken off in Miami, right?
Absolutely. And like I said, that, you might say, well, I'm not in the luxury, I'm not in the luxury wealth market. So what good is that going to do me? Or, I would say, well, this speaks to all these wealthy luxury people need to have their cars fixed, their houses painted, their lawns mowed, the services, they're going to restaurants, they're shopping in malls, they're spending their money. Not only are they buying nice houses, they're buying all the things and needing all the services that are just going to fuel economic growth in the market so that everybody benefits from this migration of wealth.
For sure. And on this topic, I recently asked our MLS director to look in the MLS and see how many 10 million and up home sales we've had in comparison. So that's a graphic that we'll be putting together, and you'll be amazed when you see those numbers. But how about this number here, Eddie? 60,000 members. This is the last two. This is 2023 and 2022, $68 billion. Incredible. Shows the power of the industry and the service that our members provide.
Yeah, you don't have to have a big percentage of that market share to do very well for yourself as a real estate practitioner, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Everybody would
Sure.
like to have 1% of that.
Yeah, give me 1%. Definitely. All right, so let's take a look. Let's have a little fun here in trivia. We do this every month, so let's see who gets the correct answers here. Miami's huge and global. So what is the top foreign country purchasing in South Florida, right? You could write this in the chat if you're on Zoom or if you're on LinkedIn, wherever. How many total countries purchase real estate in South Florida, and what percentage of Florida global real estate sales are made in South Florida? I looked on the chat earlier. There was a question about, do you have any Orlando graphics? Not specifically, but when we get to the answers of this, you will see some data there on Orlando in comparison to Miami. So put in your answers there in the chat and we'll see who wins.
We got 6 for Colombia already. I wonder if anybody else has any other ideas. What was the other question you had? You had how many the total countries? That's another question. The total countries, right, that are buying real
Yeah,
estate.
how many total countries purchase real estate in South Florida?
Yep. And then
That's
the
number
percentage, right? The percentage of Florida global real estate sales that
and
are
what
made in
percentage?
South
Yeah,
Florida.
I
That'll be
think
interesting.
number one is probably the easier one, but if you get all three, that would be you'll be a global, Miami global champion. All
Yeah,
right, median sale price. So how did median sale prices do in the latest official stats? Well, first, let me remind you that Miami was ranked #1 in the entire US for 2023 in home appreciation. This was by CoreLogic, and you could see how different other cities rank. But yeah, as Eddie said, 12 years of appreciation, it's incredible, and it continues. So let's go over these new data points here. Single family is up about 5%. Condos are also up. Broward, same story there. Price appreciation. Palm Beach, it's increased appreciation. So Eddie, no surprise here as price
no,
appreciation continues to increase, right?
that's it. That's what we've seen.
All right, so let's take a look at historically. We love to put this chart here to kind of put it in perspective in terms of where we were from the last peak in 2007, right? Pretty amazing that from the peak in 2007, we're already 72% higher, and the price appreciation is really taken off. Here's a look at Broward County. We have the same graphics. And here's a look at Palm Beach. All right, so let's take a look. Eddie, you mentioned this at the top in terms of inventory. Inventory is growing, but Eddie, it's not at the historical level, and that is putting pressure on the prices, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we've had an increase. You can see it there. There's about 2,000 more properties today than there were, end of 2023 than there were in 2021. But still below the numbers we saw pre-pandemic. So we're still not, and the demand's still solid, which is why we're having those price increases, because the inventory is still not where it needs to be. So as
Yeah,
long as supply is below demand, we'll see prices increase. That's just
exactly.
economics 101.
Economics 101, yes, 100%. All right, so let's compare Miami to other global cities. What $1 million can buy you in different select cities, and this is always interesting. How comparison to LA, New York, a lot of the same things that you talked about, earlier, right, Eddie? So it's incredible value that you get.
Yeah, I mean, you're living in paradise in a very business friendly, tax friendly state with a lot of culture and diversity, some beautiful beaches, a lot of great sports. We have all the major athletic teams you can possibly have, and then when you look at this and you see how our city compares to other major international cities, and you can see you can get a whole lot more square meters than you can in any of the other ones. That really sets you, makes you wonder, huh? So it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's why we're getting the wealth migration, right here in this one graphic.
No doubt.
Um, all right, so another question that we get on this webinar and in other places is, hey, Eddie, you said that price appreciation has been increasing for 12 years. Is this going to be another 2008? And what's your response to that, Eddie?
Well, I'll tell you, I sold a lot of distressed real estate in 2009, 10, all the way up till like about 14. There was a lot of distressed real estate still clearing out. And I still am in touch with a lot of those same clients. And I can tell you that not happening. It's just not happening. It's the problems that they faced in 2008 are resolved. The technology, they have the technology to resolve this, the federal support. The Dodd-Frank bill that was passed in 2010 basically makes it very difficult for what happened in 2008 to happen again. The equity level, right? Down payment and equity requirements. There wasn't equity back then, like there is today. So all those are factors that I believe are cushioning us from that type of risk. And with this hot market and inventory so low, if someone fell behind in mortgage payments because they lost their job, they put a for sale sign in about 6 hours, they'll have their home will be sold, and they'll be able to pay off their mortgage and get a bunch of cash out. So very, very rare are the people who are going to be in trouble and not be able to get out. Just I don't see how this can happen.
Yeah, no, 100%. And the equity is too high. Some people, the equity
Way too
has
much equity.
increased so much, and yeah.
Here talking about equity, that we've our equity has is nearly twice as much in Miami as it is in the US. So Miami's if you took a house, let's suppose you bought a house in Q1 2009, and you still own that house in Q1 2024, you have $533,000 in equity. Okay, that's assuming that you put a $10,000 down payment, and you have some, average insurance and et cetera costs. So that's a huge amount of equity. No one's going to let that go to a bank because they couldn't make a couple payments. It's not happening.
Yeah. I love that stat, and you'll be seeing that in a graphic pretty soon. We'll be putting that together. All right, so I try to sum up in terms of why buy a home now. So many reasons that you could add here, but best hedge against inflation. Any other ones you want to tack on here, Eddie, or what do you think about this?
I tell this to clients, and you should too. Your home is the way I look at it, and financial planners will tell you, your home that you buy is not an investment. It is an expense. The properties you buy for investment purposes are investments. So you have to pay, you need a roof over your head. You're going to pay rent or you're going to pay a mortgage. And it's certainly better to pay a mortgage because you get the security of keeping your house. You don't have landlords increasing your rent. You don't have to, just get kicked out whenever they decide they need the house back or decide they want to sell the house. You have control, and homeowners overall build more wealth because of those reasons, and they can keep their cost fixed as opposed to watching it. They watch them go. I couldn't afford the house I live in today if I was paying rent, market rent. I bought my house in 2014. Market rent for my house has nearly tripled, at 3 times more than I'm paying in my mortgage payment today. That's unsustainable. So that's why you want to buy. You want to buy as you can keep that fixed cost. Relatively fixed costs. We know we have some increases with taxes and insurance, but overall, it's insurance is the only variable that you don't have a lot of control over. But even then, it's relatively over the course of a 10 or 15-year period, not relevant.
Yeah. No, well said. Well said. All right. So let's move over to closed sales. What are the latest stats, official stats that we are releasing to the media today? Total sales, we are down negligibly, but you can see single family are up, condos are down. Take a look at Broward. These are Broward closed sales. And these are Palm Beach closed sales numbers. Again, some of the reason here for, total sales might be down because it's, mortgage rates continue to be elevated. I know mortgage rate sales are sensitive to mortgage rate increases. So, and also the inventory that you mentioned, right? That we don't have the inventory.
Sorry, what is this, month over month or year over year?
This is year over year.
Year over year. Yeah. Okay. Sure. And then when we're talking about sales, we're talking about the number of sales. So we've seen number of sales decline before, and number of sales declining doesn't necessarily mean value of homes declining, right? So it's not there's no correlation between the two directly. So we haven't seen that, right? We've seen number of sales come down, but we haven't seen the volume of the price points come down in terms of the median sale price has been going up. So something to watch.
Yes. All right. Okay, so let's talk about some tips for everybody watching. Are you guys using Market Watch on Matrix? A lot of the stats we have is backward looking, but Market Watch lets you see what's happening in the last 7 days. Eddie, do you use this, and how can realtors use this to kind of get better at their craft?
Market Watch is cool. I've used it before. I don't regularly use it. What I do use is the Market Intel. I go there, I grab data, I grab stats, I repost that on social media. Sometimes I'll do a video about the data that came out. Sometimes I'll create an email and I'll send it out to sellers or buyers, depending on the messaging I want to say. I don't have to reinvent the wheel. Just take the data that you all put out there on Market Intel. I don't have to later explain how I came up with that information. I got it from Miami Realtors. That's an easy answer. So that's what I use.
Yeah, that's great. All right, so let's get moving here. Thank you, Eddie. Hey, micro data, you know, a lot of what we're talking about now is on the macro, but it's really important to, I mean, that's how a realtor gets successful, is know your niche. And we have some products. We have SunStats, free Miami service. Eddie mentioned, thank you for sfmarketintel.com. We have all the zip code reports there, city reports, and RPR. That's another free Miami service. This is what you could get on RPR, a report there. This is on SunStats. Really, you could create these infographics in literally 2 minutes. You just click on the metrics. It's just, again, it's free Miami service, SunStats.
And you get the whole state. So you can do all, it's really awesome.
Yeah, the entire state. Yeah, every single county, every single city.
Yep.
You could do it by zip code as well. New pending sales. Let's take a look at best indicator of future closed sales, Miami-Dade. We're going to see similar trend lines in the 3 counties here. Total sales are down, but single family are up. Here's a look at pending sales in Broward. A look at Palm Beach. All right, let's move over to dollar volume. Sum of all sales in a given time period. These numbers always boggle my mind here, Eddie. Take a look at these numbers at Miami-Dade. This is just for 1 month. $2.2 billion spent in Miami-Dade, 1.6 billion in Broward, 2.5 billion. Eddie, this doesn't even include new construction.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So this is really the power, right, of the industry.
Yeah. So no wonder everybody wants to get into it.
Yes. Amazing. All right, let's take a look at months of supply. Again, a very important indicator, especially now as we're seeing the inventory going up. So it's basically how long it would take to sell the number of homes in your market at the given sales rates. So what you want to help buyers and sellers, you want 6 to 9 months. That's a balanced market. Less is a seller's and more is a buyer's market. And so here's a look at an example of how you could calculate it. If you're new to the business, it's an easy way to calculate it. Again, you guys will get this PowerPoint. Just put your email in the chat, and you'll be able to review it with time. So I'll email to you. All right, Eddie. So let's take a look at Miami-Dade. It's 6.7 months. That's a balanced market, right? Single family is 4.4 months as a seller's market, and condos. That is a trend line, Eddie, that we are seeing. Condo months of supply. Let me show you Broward. As you can see, Broward condos are now in a balanced market, and the condo market in Palm Beach also up.
Yep. When
So
I got
Eddie,
into business in 1999, I would get 1-year listings. We used to get listings for a year. You know, and when a house hadn't sold in 4 or 5 months, it wasn't a big deal. We've gotten spoiled.
wow,
COVID
it would
spoiled
be
us.
for 1 year.
Huh?
It would be for 1 year that you would
You
have
get
the
a
listing.
listing for 1 year. I mean, that's the listings I used to sign in 99,
Wow. Yeah, that's a great
2000, early
perspective.
2001. Now I'll get a 30-day listing now. You know,
Oh, that's interesting.
I'm
Okay,
kidding, but
great.
you know,
All right, so let's take a look at 1 million and above. This is about 12 months, the months of supply, and 1 million and up, it takes longer to sell these type of properties, especially when you get 3 million and up
sure,
right? Yeah.
it's normal.
All right, let's take a look at months of supply by price point. This is always interesting to look at because, again, overall it's a balanced market, but if you look at different price buckets, that's not the case. I mean, 1 million and up condos are now in a buyer's market. So it's really interesting when you break it down by price range. And this is something that a realtor should be doing, right, in their specific zip code. or
Absolutely,
city.
Chris. When you said that, why should agents know the data? And this is why you need to know the data. Because when a customer says, "How is the market?" you should say, "Which one?" Because in Miami, even in Miami-Dade County, there's a difference between what's happening in Coral Gables, in Hialeah, in Miami Gardens. There's also a difference between what's happening in certain price points. Between 150,000, well, 350,000 and 650,000 is a very different market than 700 to a million one. They're different markets. And condos, well, what kind of condos? Are you talking older condos or newer condos? They're all different markets. And there's different reasons why those things are happening. So as a real estate professional, it's our job to understand properties and what is going on in the market overall, and also in a very micro market, in a building, in a block, in a city, in a price point, in a property type, all very different.
I love it. I love it. How's the market? Which one? I love
Yeah.
it.
Which one?
And so let's talk about different markets here,
There it
Eddie.
is.
Yeah, this is a great segue. These are the hottest markets in terms of months of supply. Any of these, I mean, take a look at Miami Gardens at 2.2 months. Wow. Eddie, any of these that you'd like to highlight or talk about?
No, man, no, not really. It just doesn't surprise me. Hialeah, Miami Gardens, those are properties where price points are, those two particularly. I know well. Palmetto Bay and Cutler Bay also would agree. All these are markets where the price points are still where it just makes a lot of sense, and where renting is at or more expensive than owning. I have a tenant who moved out of one of my properties. This month, because he's going to save $200 a month buying versus keeping renting.
Well, that's a great point there. Yeah. And I know one of our other great leaders, Enrique, always talks about rent versus buy. And so that I love that. Yeah,
There's a factor.
definitely a factor. So let's take a look at Broward. These are the hottest markets in Broward. Sunrise, #1 for single family, Plantation, #1 for condos. Palm Beach, hottest markets. Again, let me put another plug in for sfmarketintel.com. We have these graphics there where you guys could download them. All right, so let's take a look at active inventory. How many total listings? It's a trend we've been seeing for months and months now. Inventory's on the rise, and Eddie, that's great news, right? Because buyers have more options, right? More things to look at.
Yeah, I mean, it's. I think it's great news, especially for realtor practitioners. Like, I mean, when you're working with a buyer, to be able to show them alternate options where you don't have to put an offer in sight unseen, no inspections, you know, uh, give your firstborn to get an offer accepted. We're getting into a balanced market where, it's easier to practice for us. Buyers have more options to select from. I like balanced markets. We don't have to go running rampant to make transactions happen.
Yeah, the market that we had a couple of years ago,
It was
that
madness.
wasn't normal, right? That whereas
Uh,
property sold in a day.
in a second.
Yeah. So now we're getting back to how you mentioned the new normal. One interesting point here on the inventory. Yes, inventory is growing, but it's not growing at the 600 and below level. It's a lot of the inventory coming in is on 1 million and up side. So we'll continue to monitor that.
Right.
So
That
let's go
goes
over
back to
some
the
of the.
That goes back to the Miami Gardens and the Hialeah and uh, those other markets that you had there. Cutler Bay, there's still affordability under 600.
There you go. Yep. And so here are some of the talking points that we've gone over. Active listings are down 33% in terms of the historical average. Um, our chief economist updated those numbers there, and you could read her report on MiamiRealtors.com. All right, so let's take a look at the global study. Who won? I know that immediately a lot of answers were for Colombia, and you were correct. You guys know your stuff. Many people said Colombia. I think first was Maria Flor, So congrats, Maria. You won that one. That was a great job there. Colombia edged Argentina for top global buyer. All right, so the next question is, how many total countries purchased real estate in South Florida? 52. And let me see if anybody answered that. Some said 15 countries. You guys were under. It's
'Not even
52
close. Yeah.
countries. It's amazing. It's coming from all parts of the world.
Yep.
Okay, and the third question is, what percentage of Florida global real estate sales are made in South Florida? 47%. I'm not sure if anybody said that. Let me take a quick look. Someone said 40. Andres, 40%. All right. Iris said 60%. Maria Flor said 40%. Okay, you guys are around there, 47%. Someone asked about Orlando. They're number 2, but they're all the way back at 14%. Really amazing. The difference, the separation is why Miami is number 1 in global, right, Eddie?
Yep.
Amazing. All right, so let's go over some of the tools and resources that we have. We talked about on the Miami Gateway. You could take the Sun Stats. Make sure you guys are using this as a free Miami service. We have co-branded material on miamirealtors.com/co-brand. You guys can get these top 20 reasons. You could put your logos on there. Photify, this is a free Miami service for Miami members. As you can see, these are Miami members. We upload the app with graphics and templates, and it's so easy to add your picture, your name, your information, and even your company logo. That's Miami Photify, free Miami service. This is a look at the different market reports that we have. Again, we're putting out market focus infographics videos. And you guys remember the website, right? sfmarketintel.com. And we have zip code reports. We have city reports, every single city that you can find. And actually, we have that updated. Should be updated on the website right now. And we talked about RPR. Miami trainers, if you guys have a question on RPR, on Photify, on Sunstats, any product and service right here, write down this email. They will help you out. They're incredible instructors, and they're putting on classes. All right, Eddie, let's talk about, I got a question here for you on the cross-market demand. So cross-market demand is what counties, out-of-state counties, are looking at Miami listings, right? And no surprise here, you got New York number 1, Atlanta area number 2, and San Francisco number 3. You had mentioned this a little bit, but in terms of using this material, how important is it for realtors to use a referral business and build those relationships?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of different ways to grow your business, but one great way is the referral business. 81% of my business is from repeat and referral. And other agents across the country, I have in multiple markets, other agents who I just actually missed a call from somebody right now from Atlanta who's probably calling to refer a client. And so using those opportunities to make those relationships, they're not, let's call them, they're not competitors. So you can maybe even create a small group of networking, have conversations. There's so many different ways to build these relationships. It really is a relationship building game. You just got to understand where they're at and bring value to them in conversation. If you're posting this type of stuff on social media and reaching out to them and collaborating with them, they'll want to engage with you, and you engage back, and there's business to be done there for sure.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping you could get in touch with that call right there after when we finish. But
Yeah.
great stat there. 81% of your business is from referral. That's a great stat. All right, Broward County. Hey, no surprise here, guys. New York, Atlanta, San Francisco, same. These are the different markets that are looking at our properties. In Palm Beach, always amazes me. Always, every single month. Look at how many New York counties are on this list. So this really shows you the influx from New York, especially in Palm Beach. All right, so lastly, here's my information, chris@miamiread.com. And here's our information on social media. Eddie, thank you so much for your time on a beautiful Friday. Any outgoing thoughts here for everybody on the call? And by the way, thank you to everybody for staying on. We had 50 strong here, at least on Zoom. But Eddie, any final thoughts for the realtors out there?
A couple things. One thing is about another way to get connect with agents who are producing in different markets is use Real Trends. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Real Trends produces an annual report of the top producing agents. You can go into the markets that these people are coming from, go in there, find agents that are top performing agents in those markets, reach out to them, congratulate them on their recent award, and have a conversation about opportunity to connect with you to help their buyers find homes here in South Florida. And the other thing is about perspective. There is a million ways to look at the data, a million ways to look at the market. And our job is to find a perspective that supports our cause and supports our customers in wanting to get to the goals that they want. So it's our job as professionals to not get caught up in a particular perspective and what this is. You've seen those pictures of, this is two faces or a glass of wine, or you've seen those, right? And you understand that depending on how you look at it, you're right. So it's our job to look at it in the way that supports us in our growth of our business and our town, our city that we represent, and our customers. So dig deep, keep coming to these videos, to these breakdowns of market data. Chris, you're the best for putting all this together, and thank you. And thank you guys for being Miami members.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Eddie, and thank you to everyone that was on the webinar. Thank you so much. Let me take a quick look at the chat. Joseph asking about, no, it's sfmarketintel.com. I'll put that in there, sfmarketintel.com. But once again, thank you everybody for taking the time out today, and have a great weekend. All right, Eddie. Thank you, Eddie.
Take care.
Yeah, you too.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.